Okay, so I just want to welcome everybody to this episode of Fremont for Everyone Candidate Forum. I want to quickly give you a brief history of Fremont for Everyone. Now, Fremont for Everyone's vision was Fremont for Everyone advocates for inclusive, affordable housing for our residents and ensures Fremont is welcoming of new neighbors while remaining a wonderful community for living closer to work, raising a family, and aging in place, a home for everyone. So, how did Fremont for Everyone get started? In the summer of 2019, a group of us concerned citizens, faith leaders, and local leaders united to support the approval of a home housing navigation center despite overwhelming neighborhood opposition. And interestingly enough, a discussion of that was held earlier today at another event I was at. People were talking about how great that was, that the Fremont for Everyone people had supported the Housing Navigation Center so strongly. In the first year, we held visioning seminars, which led to a coalition with California YIMBY and a widened focus to include the broader issue of housing equity. At that time, we held bi-weekly unhoused feeding events at Now Discovery Church. We did advocacy training, housing legislation reviews, community building events, and a series of eviction moratorium broadcasts. During COVID, of course, everything shifted to all virtual, but that didn't stop us. We ratified a set of organizational bylaws through an involved community process. We elected a leadership team. We hosted a series of Zoom-based candidate debates during that election year, and we're doing it again this year. We continue to advocate for safe parking, and we continue to speak virtually at city council meetings in favor of issues like Project Home Key. And here we are now about to hold another round of leadership team elections. Before we do that, I would also like us all to recognize and thank the leadership team members who have worked tirelessly and helped us get where we are today. Starting with Aaron Eckhouse, who is our California YIMBY representative. Then we have David Bonacorsi, Lisa Dans, Marie Hughes, Annie Karuga, Catherine Ruby, Hayes Scher, Vanita Verma, and Paul Webster. So thank you very much to all of you people who stepped up to the plate and took charge. Now we are going to start with question number 1. And that question is, I'm old now, so I have to put on my reading glasses. The first question is, well, it's not really a question, it's a statement and a question. Please introduce yourself and then answer this first question. What has been your experience with housing advocacy in general and specifically with Fremont for Everyone? And I have a timer here, and you have, after you introduce yourself, then the timer will start with the 1 minute. Okay, so go ahead and start, Jenna.
Well, hello, everyone. It's good to see some of you here. I know some of you here, some of you I don't. My name is Jenna Doherty, and I am a lifelong Fremont resident. And I'm also a transgender woman, which I feel kind of plays into my desire to help with the unhoused community. As someone who was almost unhoused myself a couple times due to many circumstances beyond my control, and having other trans friends who were unhoused, just considering how hard it is a lot of the times for us just to even get basic employment and whatnot. I've always been very socially active and politically aware my whole life. And I've always wanted to be able to do something to help make my community a better place. In Fremont, I feel like we're a very wealthy and privileged area. And I feel like a lot of the focus up until, the past couple of years, I really didn't think it was a lot more business oriented. And I really feel like Fremont, again, with all its wealth and privilege in many ways, we should be doing more to help others in our community. And
Jenna, hold on a second. So I didn't recognize when you stopped your introduction and started your talking. Did you already start your talking? Did you already start
I have
talking?
been, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I kind of just blended it in together.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Go ahead and keep going, and I'll give you 15. Let's give you 30 more seconds, and then we'll continue.
Okay, where was I at?
Sorry.
I was
My fault.
inspired. Okay, I was inspired around the time of all the homeless navigation center proposals. Just seeing so many people in Fremont that just I felt took just the wrong attitude towards people who have had really tough time, just 1 or 2 paychecks away from being unhoused. And I just feel like like I said, us as a community, especially just how wealthy this city is, we should be taking more of a humble and servant-minded attitude towards those who have less than us. And I'm hoping that this might be a good foot in the door for me to start to be able to influence, some more positive, community-oriented stuff. So thank you. I didn't see the spotlight. So
Sorry. Okay.
I'm a theater kid, so it just stopped me,
All right. Next is Annie. Do you need me to restate the question?
I don't believe I need you to. So just to be clear, introduce myself,
Yes.
stop. Then I have a minute to answer the
Yes.
question.
Yes.
All
So
right.
and after you introduce yourself, give me the thumbs up so I know you're done.
Cool. I'm Annie. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm an organizer here in Fremont, but also in Alameda County and in the Bay Area. I wear 10 million hats, probably about 9 million too many. But some of the things I do are that I serve on the County Democratic Party Central Committee. I serve on the executive board of 2 of our statewide California Young Democrats caucuses, the Environmental Caucus and the Progressive Caucus. I serve on the board of a local dumb club. I'm active in my church at Niles Discovery Church on environmental issues and broader social concerns. And I've organized around a whole number of things in our community, from candidates for election to criminal justice issues, to Black Lives Matter, to housing policy. And I am proud to have, for the past year, served as a board member of Fremont for Everyone, and hope to be voted in again for a second term. So that is my introduction. Answer to the first question. Again, as I said, I've served on the board of Fremont for Everyone for the past year. Before that, for the navigation center fight, before we had an official elected leadership, I was really happy to take the lead as the tabling lead to ensure that we were out and visible at all of the city events surrounding the navigation center. So I started doing that. Then I worked on our bylaws, and throughout the past year as a board member here at FFE, I've co-chaired the policy committee along with Lisa and David, who have been exceptional on that front. We've worked on candidate issues, on the housing element. I hope that we can work to ensure a housing element that is even more inclusive than the proposed one. But those are just some of the things that I've done and I want to continue doing with Fremont for Everyone.
Yay. Okay, groovy. Next is Deborah. So Deborah, introduce yourself and then give me the thumbs up. And do you want the question again?
No, I've got it.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I don't like the name Deborah except on paper. Please call me Debbie. I lived in Fremont most of my life. I've watched it grow. I've watched it prosper, but I've also watched more unhoused people. Living out here off of Washington, I live near the bridge. They are getting ready to put in the new BART station right there for Irvington. And right now there are tents under the bridge. Everybody was supposed to vacate the area. They're going to need a place to go. Now, back in 2019, when I had heard about the NAV Center, I so wish it was available when I was almost 20 years ago.
Okay. Debbie, are you still introducing yourself or did you start?
I think I started about 10 seconds ago.
Okay, so let me go ahead.
I was truly inspired and motivated to do something. But then I had some serious health issues come up over the last 2 years that prevented me from doing anything. I've gotten a lot better, and now I'm ready to make things happen. I've never been on a committee like this or a team. I don't have much public speaking, but I do have a desire to help, to do whatever it takes to get something done, whether it be with us or for the homeless. That's my desire.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, and then next will be, wait, I have to wait my thing to run out because I don't know how to make it stop any other way. My children would be so embarrassed. Okay, and next is Catherine. And you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry
And
about
then,
that.
and then introduce yourself and then give me a thumbs up so I know you're done.
Well, my name is Catherine Ruby, and I have lived in and around the Fremont area for 15 years, actually about 15 and a half years. And I love this area and consider it my home. And I have a deep investment in seeing Fremont stay a beautiful city and be as welcoming as it has been in the past. So I'm invested. I love it here. This is my home.
Great. Okay, go ahead and start. You're answering the question.
So my advocacy formally began in 2019 when I was getting ready to become homeless and ultimately became homeless. I joined the Filipino Advocates for Justice and the Rise Coalition and began fighting for tenant rights, beginning with AB 1482, and asked for support from Murkowski and Swalwell and went to the signing of it into law by Governor Newsom. And my involvement there also made me a member of Faith in Action East Bay and Pico, California, and I've continued working for tenant rights. That summer of 2019, I also advocated for the homeless in writing on various social media platforms, and eventually supported the Homeless Navigation Center by attending a city council meeting on the night they were voting for it and asked that they build that, and was happy to know that they voted for it unanimously.
Great. Thank you. Okay, perfect. I remember that when you were at that meeting too. All right, next is Vanita.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vanita Verma. I'm a longtime resident. I cannot claim to be here all-time lifelong resident, but I had been here almost all my life. It's 25 years. So I'm only 23, so that's okay, right? So I've served on various leadership roles, including, but not limited to, PTA president and vice president to many, a few units, schools over here. President and vice president of Gifted in Fremont. I also served as a council president for Fremont PTA. And I still serve as, I'm at least serving until the elections are done, for Fremont for Everyone leadership team.
Great.
I also serve as, not yet, just one more sentence. I also serve on California State PTA board and board of managers I serve as health advocate, along with many other positions. I'm also one of the speakers for Prop 31 and Prop 28. Now you can go ahead.
Ruby, go.
So my experience with housing advocacy actually started when I was 10 years old. I was advocating for homeless and orphans back in India, and it was really heartbreaking to see kids my age being homeless on the street. So that was something that brought me to the picture that, okay, it is not normal to have house. It is more normal to be on the street than in the house. You are really privileged to be living under a roof. When I came to California, I was surprised to see that there are so few homeless. Oh no, already? Okay, so Fremont for Everyone brought me back home and brought me to advocacy for those who are less fortunate than us. And I had been advocating for it, and I had been fortunate enough to be on the leadership team last year. I hope to continue doing that. Thank you. Oh my God, that 1 minute is just
Fast, I know.
too quick.
All right, next up is Mr. Bonacorsi.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for hosting this forum this evening. Yes, my name is David Bonacorsi. I'm a lifelong Fremont resident. I have a combined 12 years of experience on the Planning Commission and on the City Council. And I believe during that time, I went through 3 housing elements as we're now entering into our 4th housing element. I had 4 years as relevant to this organization, 4 years on the board and board vice president for Abode Services, which is dedicated to ending homelessness. And I am happy to have served in the last 2 years in a leadership role. And I'm asking for your vote, but now I'm going to go into my 1 minute spiel.
Right.
In response to the question, I was at the grassroots level with the HNC, Friends of the HNC, supporting the Housing Navigation Center, petitioning our council members to do the right thing, as well as advocating at the various workshops, and then appeared on KPFA radio to take on one of the opponents, and that got a lot of airtime. I was pleased with that. Been honored as a leader in the Leadership Fremont to moderate our council and elected official debates so that we can put our agenda on the table for elected officials to have to respond to our concerns. Been proud to be on the policy committee with Lisa Dans and Annie Karuga, as well as Sandra Moore and Gada, and we put together a 9-page single-spaced comment letter to the draft housing element, and was happy to speak before Chair Dalton and the Planning Commission, as well as the advocate before the council on the issue of our housing element. Look forward to hearing from everyone else here this evening. Thank you.
Oops, wait. Okay. All right, thank you, David. All right, next, Mr. Brenton.
Well, hello, everyone. Can you hear me all right now? My name
Yes.
is I'm Bob Brunton. I have lived in Fremont since 1980. I live in the Warm Springs part of Fremont. Over those years, I've served, was elected 3 times, served 12 years on the Ohlone College Board of Trustees, and have been involved in a whole wide variety of civic programs during those 40 years. So that's the end of my introduction.
All right, thank you.
As Fanny answered the question, you know, I've been involved in housing since I was a little boy. I'm a son of a city manager, you know, and so I was taught as an early age about the benefits of zoning and construction and doing things for the right people. My educational background is in architecture, electronics, and finance. And over those years, I've owned businesses and started businesses in those areas. I've been a homeowner. I've rented houses to people. I've had over 100 employees, and they've had to find housing. So I give a wide variety of experiences, I believe, to this. And it was helpful with the Habitat for Humanity. With my father, we put together one of the largest operations in Phoenix, Arizona, one of the largest operations for Habitat for Humanity. I work with faith-based communities and find housing for people to live with seniors. So there's a lot of different approaches that I hope to bring for this group, and the second questions will deal with those. Thank you.
Okay, and the final person on this question is Lisa.
Okay, hi, my name is Lisa Dans. My pronouns are she, her. I've lived in Fremont for 4 years, which makes me one of the newer ones here, but I have lived in the Bay Area for a total of 28 years, including that I grew up here. Outside of Fremont for Everyone, I also advocate with Citizens Climate Lobby, trying to push for national climate solutions, and also with Communities for a Better Environment, pushing for environmental justice. I'm a renter. I live in the Sundale neighborhood near Fremont Hub. And that's my intro. And then my answer to the question, my involvement with housing advocacy pretty much started with Fremont for Everyone. I was sitting in city council meetings, hearing some of the nasty things that people were saying about our unhoused neighbors with the Housing Navigation Center fight. And after a while, I couldn't just sit and listen anymore. I had to start making my own public comments to give a different perspective, and then got connected with the other organizers through that. I've served on a leadership team this past year as an elected leader, as well as a few months before that, before we were electing our leaders and we were creating the election process. And my responsibilities have included a lot of sort of behind the scenes work to keep the train moving down the tracks, things like sending out emails and helping with sort of managing bookkeeping. And I'm also the person who watches the City Council and Planning Commission agendas and announces to the group if I think there's something relevant. I helped advocate for the safe parking program, and then I followed up and now volunteer with it. And I'm also on the policy committee along with Annie, Catherine, David, and Sandra, and Christine.
Great, thank you. Okay, so now the next question, we will start with Lisa and then go backwards, back around the circle. So the second question is, not really a question, but it's a request. Please describe your vision for Fremont for Everyone as an organization. What goals do you have for the group? And so we're going to start with Lisa. You just finished, and now you get to start, and we're going to go backwards.
Okay, so my long-term vision, of course, is to end homelessness in the Bay Area. I think that's very ambitious, but that's the gold standard, right? That's what we're heading for. And I want Fremont for Everyone to push the ball down the field as far as we can in order to make that happen. Also, in the meantime, it's critical that we do the sort of harm reduction work of making sure that people have access to services that are needed while we still don't have enough affordable housing for everybody. So I see Fremont for Everyone as being both a catalyst toward the long-term solutions as well as a facilitator for shorter term solutions. And I guess to be more specific, I see that including things such as continuing to expand the safe parking program and hopefully advocating for more affordable by design housing and a sort of better zoning code that with less exclusionary zoning.
Great. Okay. Now, Bob, you're next. You want me to repeat the question? You got it.
This is about goals and visions of Fremont City
Yes.
for everyone. Is that correct?
What's your vision? Correct.
You know, I must admit, it has a very lofty name, Fremont for Everyone. And part of the reason why I'm here today is to help meet that goal. Because I have attended several of the meetings, and sometimes I felt like it's so one-sided. It needs to have another voice. I hope to be part of your choir to bring a different and a wider voice of difference of opinions and different ways to get things done. Homelessness and housing is certainly an issue that permeates our community. You know, I'm going to helping you also with how to deal with education to help make sure that people don't become unhoused. How we can work on financial stability to make sure that people can, in fact, once they get homeless, they become homeowners. A variety of different things that I hope that I can truly make this group, Fremont for, in fact, everyone, where every opinion and every idea is grasped. It's part of my notes. For Tennessee, I'm part of the Common Sense Republicans and Problem Solvers Caucus, and I believe can add those type of voices to your folks as well. Thank you.
Okay, great. And David Bonaccorsi.
Thank you. Yeah, I was having helped draft the mission statement and working on Fremont for Everyone since its inception. I love our vision already. You look at our fremontforeveryone.com, you look at the various activities we've involved in with the safe parking strategy, the navigation center, Clean Start mobile hygiene unit, point in time counts that were recently done. Kudos to Lisa and Annie for getting quoted in the San Francisco Chronicle for their work. We're in the press, we're doing candidate debates. And so what our vision is, it's the combination of advocacy, before governmental agencies at the state level, but activism and engagement in a real tangible way that helps people one-on-one. So where can we grow? We want to be the go-to voice in the community for being advocates for those experiencing housing crisis and those that want to be housed, as well as affordable housing. Also, we need to challenge our policymakers to do better at every turn and to make housing a human right.
Great, thank you. Okay, now next is Annie.
So I agree with basically everything that both Lisa and David have said. I think that Fremont for Everyone is generally headed in the correct direction. But there are kind of three things that I see us really being able to do in the next year that all conveniently start with P that I'd like to see us do. The first is projects. We saw with things like the Housing Navigation Center that when we have big projects, things that we want to get done that enthuse people, they come out. And of course, I don't want to see that level of animosity and hatred in my community anytime soon. But I do want us to, where possible, continue to push for and work towards these big projects and goals that we have. So that's one. The second is people. I want to bring more of our members in, get more members, and also have them do more things. And three, I want to look at and broaden our scope for policy, looking at and advocating for policies that keep people housed in the first place, like workers' rights policies.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Debbie, you're next. Can you repeat the question? It's been a while.
It's taken me a long time to think about this because not actually ever having done anything like this, or actually being able to go to something like this, I would like to see the organization push all the policies, the affordable housing, the services to keep the ball moving. I would also like to be able to be out there and help those unhoused people to better themselves. I know that there are those that do, and there are those that don't want to better themselves. They like where they're at. And it's those people that we really need to talk to and get onto a navigation center situation.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then next on this question is Catherine. Catherine. Uh-oh.
I
there you
am so sorry. I thought I was on mute and I guess I wasn't.
go.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so in my involvement in several advocacy groups for tenant rights and the unhoused, I've shared several ideas that I've had since my homeless experience. But I found that most of them that have been around for a long time are stuck in a rut, and they've become less willing to step outside of the box and keep doing things the same way, which I can attest to its limited success while the housing crisis just keeps getting worse. So I see FFE as being more open to trying new ideas since they've not fallen into a rut. We have had a great deal of success so far in advocating for the HNC and the safe parking program, and we went in strong for Project Home Key. We unfortunately did not win the state award for that project, but I hope we can still do similar projects as part of our work. Ideally, I would love to work on resolving homelessness in Fremont and being a model city for actually achieving that success and hopefully inspiring other cities to look to us as a model for their own. I see Fremont as being in a great position for being on track for this because of our strong group cohesiveness, and because we have a city council that is really good at working with us.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Vanita, you're up.
Thank you, Linda. I think as everybody else in this group has mentioned, I don't want to be repeating the same things, but I have to agree with Fremont for Everyone leadership team right now. We have our heart and head in the right place. I think I'll have to say I have 3 goals. First is advocacy, where we advocate for more money put into the programs that are to help the homeless or people who are already unhoused. That will be my first goal, advocating for the more policies, more cohesive, more comprehensive programs by the city, county, and the state, and of course federal, if we can push that way. My second goal would be outreach. So outreach, when I say outreach, I'm talking about outreaching to the other side, the people on the other side of the aisle who do not want homeless. Oh no, I have one more. Okay, the other one is intervention.
Sorry.
Intervention in the sense that help the people who are going to be homeless.
Okay, and the last person on this question is Jenna.
Yeah, so like I think I agree with everyone here. I think the vision or the groundwork that FFE has started has been a good first step. Like I feel like the Homeless Navigation Center has been off to a good start, and I think Project Room Key is a fantastic first step as well. But again, I think that those are very short term in their potential, and I would love to see more so FFE start to move towards a mindset that would push Fremont towards a city that starts to address the underlying causes that causes homelessness to begin with. I think we have many businesses that have a huge advantage over just the concept of community projects in general. And I would love to see social programs start to be restructured to kind of send that money away from things that are less helpful and move towards more helpful. And I would love to try and figure out how to do that exactly. But I feel like we are on a good foot and we could start to move that progress towards less commodification and more of a focus on helping others be able to restore a better sense of community.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Question number 3 is, what unique skills and knowledge will you bring to the leadership team of Fremont for Everyone? And my unique skill and knowledge is knowing to not run for something, but just moderate the forums. So, and the first person on this question is Mr. Brunton.
Well, hello again. I am a certified financial planner, and so I think very holistically. I'm an engineering background. I try to fix things. I'm focused on if the process isn't working, you try to change the process to make it work. And that's my goal here, to help, use holistically, try to fix things and add to the equation. I work with people all the time who want to be homeowners. I work with a lot of different investment type groups who are putting together REITs, putting together opportunity zone investing. And there's going to be ways in which Fremont can maybe lead the way, in which we can help the next step we talk about with the Navigation Center, really turning these homeless from into now having a place to shelter down, becoming their own homeowners. And I believe that this is a way it can be done. And if that's my mission, is to demonstrate that with another voice in your choir, that we can really make Fremont really be the type of model city in Fremont for everyone we want. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next to you, Mr. Bonacorsi.
Thank you. I believe the 12 years I had on council and planning commission combined gives me a unique perspective of being on the receiving end as a policymaker, how advocacy is effective and what is effective. Know how to read staff reports. I have a background in political science and law, and understand how to read legislation and advocate for it, and enjoy moderating. I've done that a number of times, and really trying to get the candidates focused on our issues. So I believe I bring together, and I have just a wonderful team. It's not me. I love collaborating with everybody that's been on the leadership team, and look forward, I hope, with your support, to work with the new leadership team in really being a force for change and as I said earlier, a go-to place where if you want to know what our position is on inclusionary housing and fighting to end homelessness in our community, Fremont for Everyone is that organization.
All right, David, thank you. All right, next up is Annie.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, I organize on a whole bunch of different issues. And so that helps me really understand the intersections between housing policy and other types of policy, right? If we have bad economic policies where people have too low wages and not enough control over scheduling, then that means that people will be poorer, less able to afford housing. That's just one example, but there are so many different intersections between housing policy and other policies that we need to understand so we can understand the root causes of the problems that we're trying to solve. And additionally, I have a bunch of different connections between housing policy organizers and other types of community organizers, such that we can, when we need to, work in coalition to win the things that we all want to win. And additionally, I am a competitive debater, so I understand public speaking and research and data, and hope to apply all those skills for the next year on the board of Fremont for Everyone.
All right, Annie, thank you. Okay, Debbie, you're next.
Okay. I bring with me a lot of different skills, varying degrees of back office work. I've always been a kind of a back office kind of person with typing and whatnot. I want to do more, and it's finding out what there is to do and getting it done. Everything that everybody else has said rings true for me as well, but I just don't have the articulate right now.
Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is Catherine.
Okay, thank you. Well, I came from an upper middle class family. I've been a homeowner and a renter, and I've worked in salaried positions, hourly, commission-based, and individual contractor positions, and ultimately have experienced homelessness. All of these experiences have given me a unique perspective on homelessness from various angles, and I have learned what is working and what is not. Largely, I believe most of what we are doing as a society simply does not work, and this is what I want to change. I have come up with a lot of ideas that I feel are very cost effective and would not necessarily cost a lot of extra money. And I would just love to be able to get those ideas out there and get this stuff going and see if we can change this situation.
Oh, great. All right, thank you. And Benita?
Thank you, Linda. I bring a lot of diverse perspectives and of course, identities too, that will aid our strategies, efforts, and ensure the success of and proposals we introduce. I'm a fierce advocate. I had been, and I don't shy away from talking. As you can see, I never am able to finish my sentence statement in 1 minute, so I really talk. I'm a skilled advocate. Being on California State PTA, I've been introduced with many staff members and legislators, and I think I have the right connections to be able to make changes. I'm saying I think because I cannot be sure unless it actually starts rolling. I'm a planner. I believe that Fremont for Everyone will benefit greatly from our planning and strategic skills. It will be an honor to serve Fremont for Everyone. I humbly feel that having served 1 year, it will help Fremont for Everyone for me to be on the leadership team at least for 1 more year, so that my vision from last year and this year can be can reach its destination. Thank you, Linda.
All right, thank you. All right, Jenna.
Yeah, so as I've mentioned, I don't have much experience in public service, but I do feel that I have a plethora of uniquely different experiences throughout my life that I feel could help bring, a positive force in Fremont for everyone. I am, even though I am on the left and am agnostic, I grew up in a very fundamentalist Christian household, and I have a lot of connections within the faith-based community, and I feel like they have a lot of resources to help on this specific situation. I'm also a very skilled public communicator of theater. I worked a lot in radio. I wrote commercials, voiced them. So I feel like I can also bring a really good and strong presence for any kind of marketing. And I also feel that just in general, like I have very good persuasive skills. And I am very good at being able to read people and reach people where they're at. And I feel like all of those combined, I can be a good force for FFE.
Okay, thank you. And Lisa.
Okay, thanks. Well, I think the biggest thing that I bring that I have brought for the past year is my willingness to work on behind the scenes, just what needs to get done to keep the ball rolling. And I was really happy to hear Debbie mention that she's also up for back office work, because that's a critical part of this. I'm also relatively tech savvy. I know how to use some of our tools like Slack and MailChimp, and I'll hopefully be able to teach others as well who are willing to help with that. And as I mentioned before, I also volunteer with Citizens Climate Lobby, and they're all about training. So some of those skills that I've gotten from that include sort of being trained on having diplomatic and respectful dialogue with people who may have different ideas. It's also given me federal volunteer lobbying experience, which, was mentioned before that's maybe somewhere we need to start going, and they control a lot of the purse strings. So I actually think that could be an interesting place for us to expand, and I have a bit of experience there. I'll stop there.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Well, believe it or not, that ends our prepared questions. And now is the time where we have about 10 minutes left. And so checking to see if we have any questions from the audience. Or I guess you guys could ask each other questions, but Robert, Mr. Dalton or Marie, do you have any questions for the candidates?
I don't. I think you've covered it admirably. Oh, I have a good idea here.
Great.
I don't either.
Okay, party. Oh. Great. All right. Well, I really appreciate that you all were so forthcoming, and that you were even willing to step up and do this, because it's a big commitment. You have a lot of responsibility. A lot of people who you don't even really know are counting on you to speak for them and speak on their behalf and get things done. I know that just during the times when we all watch the city council meetings together, and we're all on the text on the message line, and we're messaging back and forth about who's going to talk about what and who's going to say what, and that's really it's really encouraging, and I think that it's instrumental in how we all work together and show that so clearly. So I want to thank you guys all for doing that, and again, thank you to the people who have gotten us here so far. So if we don't have anything else, I guess we can all
Linda, before we
Yes.
go, thank you, but also maybe you want to describe the voting process for people that are going
Okay.
to watch this.
All right. So Lisa, you're going to have to help me out with this, because I wasn't part of the discussion of establishing it, but I think it's that there's going to be an email that goes out to everyone who is a Fremont for Everyone member. And that means somebody who has done something or participated in an activity to support the missions of Fremont for Everyone sometime in the last 6 months. Is it 6 months or 3? Okay, 6 months. And so an email will go out to all those people who are codified as members, and then you get to vote. And our bylaws say we can have is it a minimum of 7 plus the NIMBY person?
It's 8 actually. So
Okay. So we need to have vote on it up to 8 people on our on our board, in addition to Aaron, who has agreed to continue on for another year. And I think we get a 2-day voting period,
No,
48
it's
hours
whole
or
week.
24 hours?
5.
Whole week.
5-day, wow.
Yeah.
All
We are
right, well,
generous.
you guys
We
are gonna be
believe
on
in
the-
democracy.
You guys are-
Democracy is an important value.
Yeah, y'all are gonna be on the edge of your seat for 5 days now.
I do have a question. Who's
Sure.
all voting?
So the people, at least. I
Oh,
have
did you just say that? My
I did,
bad.
yeah, but it's okay.
Okay, no, I think
Um,
I heard that.
You have to be a member, and so you join by putting your name in and saying, I want to be a member. That has happened in the past. And then you mark somehow notifying the leadership team that you have participated in something like spoken at a city council meeting or been part of a petition or attended, like I do a lot of the YIMBY meetings, the California YIMBY meetings. I did the point in time count and do this kind of thing. So just contribute somehow to the group. You are a member. There's no dues. You don't have to pay anything. So. No
Okay.
dues. Okay.
Can-
Any other
can I-
questions?
Can I just say thank you to everybody and how I'm kind of happy that I can vote for 8 people because we have 8 candidates here and it's going to make a very well-rounded group, I do believe. So thank you all for volunteering.
Right. So.
Oh, no problem. I actually really liked everybody here too. And I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to potentially help, Fremont continue to be the wonderful place it's always been that I have grown up and loved. So.
Great. Awesome. Well, I was happy to see some new faces and then also see some people that I've known for a long time and I'm very proud to be associated with. So.
Just to clarify, for everyone both here and anyone who watches the recording later, what is the date that voting opens and what's the date that voting closes?
You would
It's
ask me that, wouldn't
Monday
you?
I think it's Monday to Friday.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
Coming, yeah.
because
coming
it's
Friday
not,
to
it's
next
not
email from
tonight. It
Hayes.
starts tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts tomorrow. So maybe at midnight it's gonna go out. I don't know. I have to reach out to Hayes and say, okay, we had the candidate forum, so now we need to send out the vote ballots. And if you don't get a vote ballot in the very near future, like tomorrow, then reach out to somebody and let us know. Because that means that maybe someone has typed your email address wrong. I did that yesterday, and or that something's happened to our email, because that happens too. I know MailChimp was giving us some trouble a little while ago. So, okay. Any other clarifying questions that you can think of?
No.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much again, and I don't know if the 49ers won or lost today. Don't know.
49, my Raiders lost, so
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I know.
Linda, thank you very much for facilitating.
Happy to do it. I'd love to be a part of this group in the ways that suit me the best. All right. Well, city council meeting Tuesday night, folks. So check out that
Okay.
agenda. Check
Thank
out that
you.
agenda. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.